Mike Bohn joined today by the Bellator Women's Featherweight Champion, Cris Cyborg, who is preparing for her pro boxing debut coming up this weekend. Cris, you have been talking about this for so long to be on
Yeah.
fight week for this. Just what's your excitement level right now? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Describe the emotions to me.
No, I'm excited. I'm nervous. It's the same thing. Everything look like I'm gonna do my first fight in my career. But I'm happy. I'm happy because I was the one dream come true, and this dream so perfect because it's in Brazil, it's my city. I feel in home. Everybody very excited here, and I feel happy.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever have any doubts that this would come to fruition? I know you've been talking about it for so long, but it seems like things just kept getting in the way of it actually happening. Were you ever like, hey, this might not be meant to be?
I didn't think it's gonna be so quick like this, and I take a little longer, but I didn't think it's gonna be in Brazil. I didn't think it's the way it's gonna happen. I'm very happy, and thankful for this.
Yeah, is this your first fight in Brazil since Leslie Smith in the UFC, or have you had one since then?
No, no, it was my last fight here was 2016. Now UFC 198 is gonna be in the same arena when I did UFC. It's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, I remember being down there for that event, and the reception for you was just so incredible. What do you
Yes.
expect the crowd to be like for this fight?
I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna have big names in the card too. Pelelante, Popó is gonna be great, and I think it's gonna be full. A lot of people gonna go. Everybody know about fight. I walk around. Everybody came talk to me. It's very cool.
Yeah, does it feel nice to be home there and back in Brazil, and just does it bringing up old feelings and seeing maybe old people, things like that?
Yes, I went to run in the park. I see one lady I don't see like 15 years. When I was doing track when I was 15 years old. So it's nice. It's nice to see people. A long time I don't see, and the show then how's appreciated then too. And the show and to see the old fans when they see my beginner, my career now can come to my fight.
Yeah, and what's the training been like for this? Obviously, different from MMA, it's going to be 8 2-minute rounds, obviously only punching. So, like, how has your preparation adjusted to get ready for this?
I've been training a lot. I've been training a lot of sprints. I've been running a lot. I did swim class too. So and I do the bag work, sparring, pads. It's a jump rope. It's nice because MMA you have a lot of things and for training. But this is the box is repetition. A lot of repetition, but it's good for getting better. Even for my game for mixed martial arts.
Yeah, and we know in MMA, you're so fierce to start the fights. You come out strong. You finish a lot of people in the first rounds. In boxing, what are these 2 minutes rounds going to be like for you? Do you think you're just going to be able to pedal in the metal because you get more breaks in between the rounds and it's shorter rounds, things like that?
I know it's box is different MMA. I'm prepared for do the 8 rounds, and I'm gonna see how I feel. In the fight, how's gonna be working. This is going something new for me, but I'm prepared and ready and see. I'm gonna feel when the feeling the fight can finish. And to see how's it be working. We're gonna do this.
And what are kind of the goals from here on out? Like, is this just something that you want to check off the bucket list, or do you feel like the start of something new in combat sports for you?
For me, I'm just thinking about this fight for now, but for sure, I know this is gonna open the door for another opportunity. But for now, let's see how it's gonna be, how it's gonna work, and if you open the opportunity for another boxing fight, it's gonna be open, and go back to my mate to defend my title.
Yeah, so what is your status with Bellator right now? I know there had been some reports that like you were at the last fight of your contract with the last one. Is that true? Have you signed anything new with them? Can you just clear up kind of what your status is right now?
I really love work with Bellator. I'm their champion, but I'm gonna have more to say when after this fight gone. I'm gonna sit it down and they're gonna see what's the next step.
Okay, interesting. So there's more news to come, you would say.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
very interesting. But you're obviously not done with MMA. You still have goals on that side of it.
Yes, no, I'm not done. This is the one fight, boxing fight, and no, I'm back to my work.
Okay, interesting. And I know you have been done some other interviews this week, and I know you mentioned something about Kayla Harrison, which Don Davis came out and like put a tweet out saying like, there's something on the table. Like, is this real at all? Has there been any actual offers made to you in regard to a Kayla Harrison fight with PFL? Or are they just kind of putting out tweets that have no substance?
No, I never talked to PFL or Dawn or sit down about the negotiation, anything. It's just online,
Yeah.
Twitter.
Why do you think he's coming out and kind of presenting it like that? Because it's making it to the fans seem like it's something real when it seems like it's not.
No, it's supposed to be a profession. This is not professional. The profession is sit down, talk, see what's the next step, what's negotiation like. Online, just people see you. You have to sit down and see,
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. And ideally, like, when would you fight again in MMA? Do you think, it's probably going to be next year? I imagine. I know Bellator only has a handful of events left, and they've already kind of booked them up.
No, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to be next fight. They just focus for this fight for boxing. And after that, you're going to know more, what's the next to me. Is going to be boxing, MMA, or what's to be the next.
Yeah. What do you know about your opponents, Simone Silva?
No, she have a lot of experience. She's going to be 17 years doing boxing. She have like 40 pro boxing fights. Fight 4 times for the world title, in boxing. She's have a lot of experience, She's gonna be ready, I feel gonna be great fight for both.
Yeah, what was the process in like selecting the opponent here? Did you leave that all to the promotion and your management, or was there like a number of potential options and you guys, however you came about the decision to make this fight?
No, the event asked me if I'd like to do an unboxing fight, and then offered her. So when they say okay, and then she say yes, and the fight happened.
Okay. Did you see Clarissa Shields' comments about your fight? She seems like she feels like you can go a long way in boxing here.
Yes, I'm very happy. She's really support me the beginning when they're doing sparring together. I hope she's doing the best in her fight too. So this is me keep giving me motivate for the great.
Yeah, definitely. And can you just address as far as, the Bellator side of it? I know Kat Zingano has said a lot of things about why you guys are fighting, aren't fighting. Like, can you just clarify exactly what is happening, with a fight with her, why it hasn't happened yet?
Kat Zingano been running, been running for a little while. All the time, Bellator talked to me. Okay, next is gonna be Kat Zingano, and then change, and then they're gonna be Kat Zingano, Arlene Blanco, and then they know Kat Zingano, and then Shanae. So she's always saying, I want to fight, one more fight, next, and never ready. So this is happening.
Yeah. Do you are you hoping if you do return to Bellator, if you have a long-term future there, that they start signing some maybe different girls? I know it came out today that like Sarah McMahon might possibly be a free agent. It seems like maybe Aspen Ladd's time with the UFC might be done. Are you hoping they sign some new opponents for you in the future here?
No, for sure. Bellator always been working, sign all the girls in my division. I've been fighting number 1 contender in Bellator. It's the only promotion have the ranking for 10 girls, 145. So I feel happy for sure. Scott Cook going to do the best for division, and yes, I just have to be training and be ready.
Yeah. Do you ever think about, how much longer you want to continue to fight for? I know you go in there, you don't take a lot of damage. It seems like you take care of your body very well, from the nutrition side and training smart and stuff. Like, how long do you think you can continue to do this for?
I want to do and complete 20 years. I'm going to be close to 18 years fighting. I want to complete 20 and then I'm done. But, only God knows. I always leave in God's hands. But, we make a plan maybe be 20 years.
Okay, interesting. And do you ever think about what you want to do, after? Are you still going to be really involved in the sport? Do you want to, kind of get some separation and move out of the spotlight because you've been in it for so long? Like, what are your thoughts when you think about life after fighting?
No, for sure I'm going to be involved in the sport, I did this for 20 years, and keep training a little bit for sure. I want to do different things, do focus on my pink belt for the women's girls training camp. I would like to do more missionary work. I'm going to be have a lot of good things to do.
Yeah. Do you have any, missionary work things, in the works right now, or is that something that you can only focus on when like you don't have a fight and you're not training?
Usually I do after the fights. Yes, usually I was working on. So in Brazil, we have one place now. My brother working together, one place for the kids training. Who's go to school can go over there and do practice doing sports. So every fight, I do something for help with the community, giving back to community.
Yeah, and I know Brazil was hit pretty hard, with COVID and just all the struggles that went on. When you're down there now, does it feel different than when you were down there, pre-COVID, or do you think the economy of the country has recovered and bounced back, fairly well?
I know. I think Brazil doing great. If you hear a lot of things, they're doing good. Bolsonaro, the president, doing great to hear too. Have a lot of people happy. We're gonna have the election this year too. A little bit crazy both sides. So I think Brazil, I think, grow a lot and then get it better. A lot of things.
Yeah, and when we think about Brazil, I think one of the legendary fighters that comes to mind is Jose Aldo. He obviously retired this week. I'm just curious, if you had a relationship with him at all, and just your thoughts on his retirement and the legacy he leaves behind as far as what he's done for MMA in Brazil.
Yes, me, Jose Aldo's friend. I text him. I say, man, thank you for everything you did for the sport. You legend. And I know his son almost born, I think, couple days. And they
Yeah.
say, you have a next journey in your life. You have a new baby coming. And I hope you be happy, and enjoy the life. And yes, we have your friends.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite moment from his career when you were watching, like a favorite performance or win of his?
Jose Aldo is a legend here. He's the champion of the people here. The movie he did is amazing. So they tell his story, this life story. So when he's WC champion, they go to UFC. He did a great, great, and he's always keeping great. His even his drop weight is doing great too in UFC. So yes, this is very good.
Yeah, and last thing I want to ask you as far as the fights, I know after Amanda Nunes had beat Juliana Pena, there your name had kind of come up to Dana at the press conference and all that stuff. Would there ever be any interest from you from ever working with the UFC, going back there for even if it was just one more fight, anything like that, or for you is that chapter completely closed?
That chapter is closed. That chapter is closed. Then we don't want to make the fight the moment to make, and then we don't want to pay the fighters. So if they don't start to pay the fighters, maybe we can sit down. But I believe I have to think about my future than just to think about my ego.
Yeah, they're taking better care of you in Bellator.
Yes, yes,
That's
100.
great to hear. Well, you deserve it. You're a legend yourself. Last question. How do you envision yourself winning this fight? You've had a lot of knockouts in MMA. You've done, a lot of combat sports. Is your goal to go in there and end the fight quickly, like we've seen you in MMA so many times, or do you want the experience of boxing multiple rounds and feeling what it's like to get into a longer boxing fight? What's your perfect world scenario here?
I want to feel the fight. This is gonna be my first boxing fight. I want to be. Then when the people see Cyborg can box it, I want to do. I don't know. This is what I'm saying. This will be in training. I want to do the great fight for my fans, and do my best I can. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to this, Cris. Really appreciate you taking the time. I know you've had a busy week here, and looking forward to seeing this fight happen. And of course, looking forward to everything that you have to say afterwards about your future as well.
Nice. Thank you so much. See you Sunday.